we'll just you know, so here's the format. We'll take turns talking about our runner up, Jordan's runner ups, my runner ups, and then we'll go Jordan's 5, my 5, Jordan's 4, my 4, etc., etc. We're not gonna be like, it's not gonna be like a full album review or anything like that. We'll just, you know, have a little thing to say about each album and move on. So yeah, all right, ready? Jordan, your EP runner ups. What are your EP runner ups?
Okay, so I have, for the first one, I have Jamie's Elsewhere's Paradise EP. That one was really good. It was a really good comeback. You know, it was pretty much Jamie's Elsewhere, so you know it's not anything new, but it sounded, you know, pretty modern, so that's good. And then I have a Since My Beloved's One Day Away EP. That's our friend's band. You know, kind of throwback melodic metalcore kind of thing. You know, very emo. Yeah, and those were my 2 runner-ups.
Okay. I also have 2 runner-ups for the EPs. So my EP runner-ups were Better Lovers. Got Better Lovers. You know, we great entry for the band. You know, got some members of Every Time I Die. You got Greg from Dillinger Escape Plan, wild combo. Music is, like, you know, really good. Not I think they're still, you know, trying to figure themselves out. I think it's one of Jordan's points on that. You know, they still have a little bit room, but I think it was a great entry. So looking forward to that. And then Face Yourself. I can't remember which one it was that we reviewed. They put out 3 EPs last year, by the way. We only did one of them. Just make an album, by the way. But I think it was the self-titled. I really like the music. It's, you know, very fun deathcore. Great lead female vocals. Outstanding range. She has. They have a bunch of, like, kind of silly kind of deathcore songs. So I always appreciate that. Really, the only reason it didn't make the list was just because the others just did it better. That's really it. It was good stuff, but I would have probably preferred if they just put out an album instead of 3 EPs, but that's just how I am. But okay, Jordan, your number 5 EP of the year.
All right, so my number 5 EP of the year was Thus Spoke Zarathustra's Act Like You Don't Know. Really, really good throwback deathcore, you know. But it wasn't really like super fast deathcore, you know. It's well, no, it's not super slow deathcore. It's pretty fast. Like, there's not really any like slow breakdowns or anything like that. It's really very upbeat and kind of like very fun. There's a lot of like kind of like throwbacky type of, like, you know, where they tried to kind of sound like a certain band, and there was a Amir kind of sounding song. There's like a All Shall Perish sounding kind of song. You know, so that was really cool. Yeah, I think my favorite track on that was Alison Morgan featuring Balmora. That one was the Amir sounding one. You know, it had the kind of like Frankie kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that one was really stand out for me. And it also was featuring another band, Balmora. But the vocals that they did on that one were like, it's all just pig squeals. Like the whole time, the whole feature was just pig squeals. But yeah, very, very fun deathcore, you know, very fast paced, but you know, there are still those very like kind of like crushing slow breakdowns. It gives you everything that you want, you know. Very MySpacey, but it's still kind of modern in some ways.
All right. My number 5 was I don't know if you remember this one, Echoes of Amara. That was
the melodic hardcore one.
Yeah, melodic hardcore. It was like a really small, like not local to us, but you know, a really small scale band. I think they have like 300 followers on Spotify currently. I went through and listened to that earlier. That one was a really nice surprise when when I found it. It was just like a random band that I saw on the releases. Their album cover looked like a black metal cover. It was like black and white, trees and shit. And I was like, okay, this is gonna be some black metal shit. And it was not. It was melodic hardcore. So I thought that was really surprising. There's 5 songs in under 10 minutes. It's like 9 minutes and 58 seconds. So they really straight up play on the hardcore section of that. It's got the really fast pace, lots of that, but it's got of course the beautiful little pretty sections in there. There's like very tiny amount of clean singing. It's very raw. It's lower production, but I don't take off for it because it's a tiny band. It's whatever. Who cares? So it's got that raw kind of feel of local hardcore. So I really appreciate it, and it was just a really nice surprise of a find for the year. So definitely looking forward to seeing some more from them as well. Jordan, number 4.
All right, my number 4 is going to be Knives Exchanging Hands. I guess return album or EP. It's called Bitter. It's very. I wouldn't say it's very much like in line with everything they've already done. Like there's hints of like the still kind of like the MySpace kind of era kind of stuff, but it's very modern. It's also very much more deathcore than metalcore. They kind of rode the line a little bit on some of their stuff back in the day, but this one it feels a lot more like the kind of deathcore. Like they got a lot of the and the fucking blast beats and all that. So it's very nice change of pace, but they still give you what you want from their old kind of sound. It's only 5 songs. I kind of wish there was a little bit more, just because it is very, very good, and I do like the progression that they have, and I kind of want to see if they keep on going and make another release, and maybe they can really knock it out of the park, because what they did on this EP was very, very good. Yeah, I think my top track on this one is it's called A Wound, A Thirst. That one is probably the most Knives Exchanging Hands kind of sound. It's got the very melodic kind of like break in the middle of the song, and then they kind of like transition that break into a breakdown, and it's really cool. But I kind of wish they would have like brought back the little melodic part at the end of the breakdown. That would have really set it off really cool. But what there was pretty good.
All right, my number 4 is Psycho Frame, Remote God Seeker. I thought I liked that one a lot more than their the second EP that came out. This one was just really fucking. It was just brutal. I mean, that's the best way to describe it. It was just like nonstop, extremely brutal. It was very like MySpace deathcore, but it's not as tropey in my opinion as the other throwback bands, which isn't a bad thing. I don't mind the tropey kind of stuff too. They really kind of just had their own kind of sound, and was just like I said, it was disgusting. I still hope Vatican can still exist somewhere. I don't know if they do, but we got something good out of it either way. So yeah, Psycho Frame, really great stuff. Jordan, number 3.
All right, my number 3 is from a band called A Morning Star. Called a Reminder of the Wound Unhealed. It's very kind of like, I don't want to say straight edge metalcore, but it because it's not straight edge. I've seen videos and they're kind of wild and out on the stage, but it's got that kind of like sound to it a little bit. But it's kind of unique in the way that like they use that kind of that same effect that what the fuck is that one band called, the hardcore band?
Oh, Inclination.
Yeah, Inclination. They use that like kind of like chorus effect on a lot of their stuff, so it kind of gives it like a different kind of like otherworldly kind of feeling a little bit. It's very kind of like Final Fantasy feeling in that way. So definitely like it in that way. Favorite song off of that one is a title track, or it's a self-titled track. That's called A Morning. It's got kind of like a, as Dallas would say, a ride into battle kind of vibe to it. So it's very fun and kind of like upbeat, and It's definitely kind of like a needed pace and that kind of like style because it can get a little serious with straight edge kind of stuff, even though it's not straight edge, but it definitely feels like it would be like a straight edge band, like straight up.
All right. My number 3 is one of Jordan's runner-ups. God damn, I need to figure out the right word for that. I got Jamie's Elsewhere. I thought that one was really fucking great. I especially for a band that I didn't, I've always known who they were. I thought they were pretty cool, but I never really paid too much attention to them. But that comeback album was just it was self-titled, right? A self-titled EP. I didn't write down the name of that one.
No, it's called Paradise.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It was very like 2010, 2012. It was like it literally, maybe 2009. Like it literally just sounded like Jamie's Elsewhere, just straight up. Like they never left. But it was also like not dated. It didn't sound very dated. It still sounded like a new EP, and was just I just it was perfect. It was perfect for what, and I like I said, for a band I was just like, whatever about, thought it was perfect. So yeah, that was great stuff. Jordan, number 2.
All right, my number 2, this is Psycho Frames Remote God Seeker. Just fucking insane fucking deathcore. Like it feels like MySpace in the way that like not in like kind of like the sound, but it feels like you're in like a fucking VFW hall and like you're just about to get your fucking shit kicked in. Like it's so fucking brutal and relentless. Like it doesn't fucking stop. Like the breakdowns are fucking ridiculous. The snare on that is fucking ridiculous. I was listening to a fucking interview with Hunter, that's one of the vocalists, and he produces the band. Apparently they have 8 different snares layered together to make that snare, so that's fucking
Jesus
ridiculous. So just fucking crazy fucking shit, but it still feels very, very modern and very fresh. Like I chose this one over the second EP that they put out last year because they put out 2 back to back, and it was just fucking crazy. But I think the first one is a little bit more catchy. There's a little bit more like stuff that you can grasp. The second one is very technical and very fast, and it's like just kind of like blistering, and it just kind of happens. But this one it definitely takes you on a ride. Like there's those peaks and valleys. Fucking sick shit. Top track for that one is 24 Hours Left. I think that was the first one that I heard because I didn't listen to the first single that they put out. And then I went back and listened to the second and first one whenever that second one came out. And oh man, that one was fucking with the fucking sample, like the fucking, I don't even remember what he says, but it's fucking, the sample.
All right, my number 2 was Sentinels in Limbo, with our friend Kenny from Dead Vectors, new vocalist for them. I believe they're touring, or they just finished touring. Huge shout out to that guy for really kind of making it there. That album, it was another EP that was just like 10 minutes. It was only 3 songs, but it was a fucking great 10 minutes. It's like they pack so much into those 3 songs. It's got the little genty kind of elements in there, but it's also really like spacey, really atmospheric. It's like very cohesive. Like it's got that kind of that EP kind of consistency that you kind of look for in EPs. It feels like one whole piece. It's really balanced. Just beautifully heavy. I just really enjoyed that. So super excited for a full length from that one as well. So Jordan, number 1, what is your number 1 EP?
My number 1 EP is Balmora with Thorns of Glass and Petals of Grief. This one is it's definitely a throwback metalcore album or EP. This one is actually a straight edge band, so you can definitely expect a lot of that kind of feel, but they kind of do it in the way that a lot of my favorite straight edge bands do, where they don't really sing about straight edge. They kind of like sing about other things, and they're definitely more on the like poetic kind of lyric side, kind of like the Poison the Well kind of ish stuff, or like definitely a lot of like Prayer for Cleansing and like a little bit of old Avenged Sevenfold in there too. So it's definitely a very good mix of like old stuff. My favorite track with that one is the final track on there. It's a very epic track. It's like a 7-minute track. It's got like a melodic break with like acoustic stuff, you know, at the end, and then it comes back in with the breakdown with like the chants that kind of like fade out, and then like they kind of change up the breakdown again at the end, and it kind of fades out with that. So it's definitely very very epic feeling, you know. I just fucking caught myself going back to that EP so much, you know, especially whenever it came out. Like I pretty much listened to it every day that whole week. So definitely my favorite.
All right, my number one. I'm upset for Jordan for not even mentioning this one in a runner-up fashion or anything. It is Spirit Box, of course. I didn't write down the title of that one. I thought it was great. A lot of people like kept saying that it was like that they were like selling out, you know, they got softer, etc. When we listened to it, man, it sounded like it was just part 2 of Eternal Blue. Like I didn't hear anything that threw it off. It sounded like perfectly matched with that, and I don't understand the negativity that a lot of people gave them. They even like got nominated for an award, which, you know, probably just plays into other people's thoughts of them selling out, but you know, whatever. But yeah, I thought Spirit Box just killing it. I think Spirit Box is like the pinnacle of, you know, mixing like pop elements in metalcore. I think they do it they have the perfect balance, perfectly heavy, perfectly catchy. Everything they do is great. And so yeah, Spirit Box, my number 1 EP. So yeah.
Yeah, the Spirit Box, Echoes of Amara, and what was one of the other ones were
Sentinels?
No, it was
Jamie's Elsewhere?
No, it was Sentinels. Yeah, those were all going to be on my runners up, but they just didn't make the cut.
Yeah, there's like I got 5 runners up for my albums of the year, so
I have 3.
But yeah, so that's it. That's good. It for our EPs of the year.